Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to start with what is possibly the worst Cobra handling decision I've seen this whole year, and as always, I'm hoping to hear what you think about this in the comments. Let's dive in.
प्रशिक्षण लिया हुआ है और पढ़ाई की हुई है, काटने के लिए तैयार। देखिए, काटने के लिए तैयार।
He's saying to his friends, this is how you really annoy a cobra and get it to bite you. So, I wonder what's going to happen.
तो दोस्तों ये साक्षात नाग है। प्रशिक्षण लिया हुआ है और पढ़ाई की हुई है। प्रशिक्षण लिया हुआ है और पढ़ाई की हुई है। प्रशिक्षण लिया हुआ है और पढ़ाई की हुई है।
So afterwards in the clip, he actually goes to hospital. They sit him down on a bed, they put a drip in his wrist, and they just monitor him basically. So what I'm assuming is that yes, the cobra did get him, but it was a dry bite. So that was incredibly lucky.
Hey mate, you're alright. Yeah, alright. Alright, mate. You're a bit wound up, aren't you? Hey? You're a bit wound up. You're a good size.
He's a bit wound up. He's also a bit shocked that he's an Eastern Brown and someone's just ignoring his bluff display.
You didn't belong in the nice people's garage. Alright. Yeah, okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. Yeah. Alright. Come on, off you go. Off you go. Well, there you go. It's going back in the bag.
Classic example of two different things in that clip. One is how these stories of snakes chasing people come around. Someone who doesn't know the species, the Eastern Brown, which is the second most venomous species in the world, I believe, they would assume that the snake was chasing them. What it's doing is bluffing. It's trying to get the human to back down first and get lost, basically. But the other thing it does afterwards is another typical snake behaviour, and that is bolt for the closest exit, and that was the bag in that case. That snake, it's not going to try and make a break for it on open ground because that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to run away from a two-legged predator, which is a human, on open ground when you're a snake. You're never going to get far.
Now this might be the most ticks I've ever seen on any animal ever. That is insane. And look at the size of them. They're enormous. Huge ticks on this girl. But we just got this python out of the Everglades and she was sitting on a clutch of eggs.
Ticks are an ectoparasite and they love sitting targets. They love a snake that's a sitting duck, in brackets basically, and that Burmese python was wrapped around its eggs. Burmese pythons do actively twitch their muscles and warm the eggs a few degrees if necessary, or uncoil, but still guard them a bit if they get too warm. So the snake is stuck there basically. It can't go anywhere, it can't feed, it can't move much, it has to guard those eggs, and ticks love it. They just climb on and gorge themselves. By the way, if you're enjoying this, please do like and subscribe, possibly consider joining. There are a lot of snake molesters and only so much time.
Oh my god, dude. Oh shit. You gotta come over.
Oh my god! So, while we were looking for caimans, unexpectedly, one of our friends found this ginormous, looks like a female anaconda. She's got me. So beautiful.
So beautiful, I'm gonna choke it until it wheezes. It's another classic example of anaconda abuse. It's really weird. Anacondas get such unfair treatment. People just go out and catch them and they're like, hey, it's an anaconda, it's the biggest snake in the world. And then they catch it and they just brutalize it for 5-10 minutes for a video. There's no educational value, even though almost every influencer we see calls themselves a herpetologist for some reason now. Not something I can get behind. So this is Ibu Baroness, the largest snake alive today, they believe. Just before we watch the rest of the clip, that was interesting because they were measuring it the right way. Often I hear people in clips talking about estimates on length, but the right way to get an accurate measurement is to restrain the snake and measure along the spine and along the tail, all the way from snout to tail tip. And that's what they did. Beautiful. I think it's good news that there are snakes out there that can grow to this length. It's just incredible to see one alive today. That was of course a reticulated python, and it's gonna be kept basically in a wildlife sanctuary from now on. It's been captured, so I was conflicted. I was amazed and pleased to see one that big and that healthy, even though The capture method there with the tape around the mouth looked a little bit brutal. But on the other hand, yes, is it sad it can't live in the wild? Yeah, it is. It's disappointing. But we know how it ends. If there's a snake that big in an area with people farming, people living, it's going to end badly. The snake will probably get killed. So this time, hopefully, it's going to live out a comfortable life in a wildlife sanctuary. But let's hope it makes some money from tourism for local people. Cute little eastern tiger snake. Another interesting one, that snake wasn't chasing the person either. Again, that's a bluff, that's a threat display. It doesn't really want to bite unless it has to, and when the person backs away, takes a step back, the snake stops. So it's kind of a give and take thing. It's thinking, you know, I'm a venomous snake, why aren't you getting away from me? And then when they do, it simply gives up and goes about its business. Classic snake molester. So there's a guy molesting a king cobra, and the classic thing that you see with cobras is tapping them, slapping them on the head, tapping them on the back or the lower body, tapping around them, moving your hands like this. And we see a range of techniques like this when people are doing a show instead of education. We see it when people do these rattlesnake shows where they're like stepping in front of a snake and shouting, waving their arms around, and it's all designed to do two things basically. The first is to elicit an emotional response in you, to make you feel that there's danger here, there's agitation, something could happen, and at the same time to give that agitation to the snake. So the snake's rearing up, it's upset, it's going to act more defensive than it would naturally if it was sat out on a path somewhere doing nothing. So again, this is something that I really can't get behind. I really don't like it. My idea of educating people about snakes is telling you what not to do, but also taking a nice photo of one if I see it out and explaining what it is and how it lives. Now we're seeing something different. That was a quick clip from a guy who is a genuine herpetologist, and he's showing us how to restrain a western diamondback rattlesnake and then extract venom from it. And he's wearing gloves. Why is he wearing gloves? Because he's not doing it for a show. He's showing us how to do things correctly. He doesn't want to get bitten. He doesn't want that risk element because he's a professional and he doesn't want to, you know, elicit fear. He wants to elicit intrigue and kind of instructional videos instead.
A Sydney couple is still reeling after 102 red-bellied black snakes were pulled from their backyard. Initially, the residents thought they were dealing with just 6 of the venomous creatures, with the mega nest find amazing even seasoned snake handlers. Hallie Donaldson was there.
They have uncovered the mega nest in this Sydney home. I'm here with snake wrangler extraordinaire Corey.
So if you want to be a snake wrangler extraordinaire like Corey, all you have to do is catch over 100 venomous snakes in a day.
What did you guys have to remove from this home?
So yeah, we were called to remove four adult snakes, and yeah, we ended up with 102 red-bellied black snakes.
And are they dangerous?
They are.
Corey's got a whole bucket.
They are dangerous though, is if you do muck about with them.
I've got a few of them here in a little safe protective container, but can we have a look inside your chop tin? That is snakes alive. Does this set a new record, Corey?
As far as I know, yes.
And what were they doing? Why was there this mega nest?
So the females normally congregate and, you know, sort of a bit of safety in numbers. And yeah, so all the mothers give birth in the same spot, and this is the offspring.
What happens to these babies now?
So these guys will be released in National Park, you know, far away from any human interaction.
I've seen a couple stories like that now. It is very interesting to see how these snakes congregate to breed, well, give birth in the same area. And it's kind of interesting because we've got a similar pattern with grass snakes here in the UK. They use compost heaps to bury their eggs in, basically, because compost heaps keep warmth, and something we haven't got much of in the UK is warmth, quite frankly. But I'm intrigued to learn whether in Australia habitat fragmentation in suburban areas leads to the snakes congregating more. Is this a human effect as well? This is a video from the same guy I showed you a minute ago doing the professional handling. He's showing us incredibly educational stuff, but he gets less attention than the people that swing snakes around. So that was an amphisbaenian in the Bipes genus. Now, you might have heard of Bipes biporus, I think it's called, which is in Mexico. And this species, I'm not sure which species it was, probably one that, you know, lives a bit further south. But they are really, really weird because most animals that have vestigial legs. Often we see the front legs go first and then the back legs. This animal has no back legs, it's a worm lizard, and it's just got 2 front digging legs, which it still seems to use. And I'm not really sure whether in its evolution in the future it's going to lose those front legs or if it's going to keep them, because there are other extant amphisbaenians that have no legs.
Most people think that the more brightly colored the snake, the more venomous it will be, but that's not really true. This bright blue Insularis only has like a 10% chance of killing me, while this brown, seemingly boring looking snake is actually the inland taipan, the most venomous snake on the entire planet. If this bit me, I'd have like a 90% chance of death. The saw-scaled viper, on the other hand, is a very, very deadly snake in terms of yearly snakebite fatalities. They kill like 20,000 people per year, at least, while Steve here is just a handsome boy. He's just a cobra that wants to enjoy relaxing. The gaboon viper, on the other hand, has a very nasty bite. A bite would likely lead to amputation and or death, both of which kind of suck. While the Russell's viper is probably the most dangerous viper on the planet. They're fast, unpredictable, and their venom does unspeakable things. The cottonhead is a snake of mild mystery. It's a hybrid between the copperhead and cottonmouth, so we don't know much, other than their venom probably won't kill you.
That was Call Me the Lamp. That guy has a lot of venomous snakes, a lot of variety, well-kept, healthy animals. If you're looking for an account to follow where you get to see a variety of different venomous snakes, that's a pretty good one, really. So here's a guy in South Africa catching a boomslang, or a Boomslang, as I should say, and you can tell there's a lot of agitation and chaos going on around him. So this is a really strange story. The guy says that the snake bit him. I can't remember if he went to hospital or he went home or what, but he said there was like some mild itching and swelling at the bite area. And then they checked his blood later on and found no traces of venom and that he was totally fine. I mean, is that possible? It's totally possible. He could have been bitten by the snake and the snake could have got some bacteria in the wound and had it itching for a while, kind of like a cat bite, really. That hasn't happened to me before when I've been bitten by non-venomous snakes, but you never know. But it is true that the boomslang, it usually likes to bite and do a little sideways motion and try and get some venom in. It's not an instant front fang bite like a cobra or something. It is a rear fanged snake, technically, even though the fangs are pretty much below the eye. This is a kind of a strange story all around, but me personally, if I was that chap there, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying to people, look, I need most of you out the room, I need this area quiet, and I need a good distance from you for 5 minutes so I can do this in peace and not increase the risk to myself. That's just part of the setup in my eyes. Anyway, that was the video. I'll be back again next week with something else. Thank you very much.